What if the burning sensation in your feet, the pins and needles in your hands, or that strange numbness you've been noticing isn't simply something you have to accept as you get older? And what if part of the answer begins with something as ordinary as what you put on your plate? Now let's be very clear from the beginning. There is no single food that can magically rebuild damaged nerves overnight. And if someone tells you that one particular food can cure neuropathy, be skeptical. That's a much bigger promise than the science can support. But there is something much more useful we can talk about. Your nervous system depends on a steady supply of nutrients to function properly. Your body needs adequate protein, vitamins, minerals, healthy fats, and energy to maintain normal tissues. And when certain nutrients are lacking, or when conditions such as diabetes remain poorly controlled, your nerves can be affected. Today we're going to look at 5 nutrient-dense foods that can be part of an eating pattern designed to support overall nerve and metabolic health. And here's where it gets interesting. The third food matters particularly for adults over 50 because a deficiency of one specific nutrient can produce symptoms that look remarkably similar to neuropathy. And before we reach number 1, I'm going to show you something even more important than the foods themselves. The mistake people make when they assume that eating healthy automatically means their nerves are protected. I'm Dr. David Wilson, and I help adults better understand healthy aging, nutrition, and the health concerns that can become more important as we get older. Welcome back. If you value practical, evidence-informed health information, take a moment to subscribe. And if someone in your family struggles with numbness or tingling, consider sharing this video. One important note before we begin. This video is for educational purposes only. It isn't a substitute for an examination, diagnosis, or individualized medical advice. Let's begin. Number 5, eggs. But don't leave yet, because the first food is probably already sitting in your kitchen. And there's a specific nutrient inside it that becomes especially important when numbness or tingling appears later in life. Think about one of the simplest foods you can buy, eggs. They don't look particularly impressive, but nutritionally, they're surprisingly useful. A large cooked egg provides high-quality protein along with nutrients such as vitamin B12 and choline. And protein matters. Your body is constantly repairing, maintaining, and replacing tissues. Your nervous system is part of that process. Nerves are metabolically active tissues. They require energy, amino acids, and vitamins to maintain normal function. But eggs offer something else that deserves special attention, vitamin B12. And this is where the story becomes particularly important for older adults. Vitamin B12 is essential for normal neurological function. It's also worth noting that B12 doesn't work in isolation. It's part of a larger family of B vitamins that all play supportive roles in maintaining the health and integrity of your nervous system. When someone is deficient, symptoms can include numbness, tingling, weakness, and balance problems. And here's something many people don't realize. B12 deficiency can affect the nervous system even when someone doesn't have the classic anemia people often associate with it. So if you're experiencing tingling, don't just assume you need nerve foods. Instead, ask a more important question. Why are the nerves being affected in the first place? For some, the answer may involve blood sugar or other factors. Getting enough B12 isn't always simply a matter of eating more. As we age, some people have more difficulty absorbing vitamin B12 from food. Testing and diagnosis matter. Eggs can be an easy addition to breakfast or lunch. Try eggs with vegetables and a source of high-fiber carbohydrates, such as whole grain toast. The goal isn't to eat enormous quantities. The goal is to consistently include nutrient-dense foods in a balanced eating pattern. Your nerves don't need a miracle. They need a reliable supply. But eggs are only the beginning, because the next food takes us away from animal protein and into the world of plants, and it's a combination of nutrients. Spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard. These vegetables may not have the dramatic reputation of supplements marketed for nerve health, but nutritionally, they're powerful. Dark leafy greens provide nutrients including magnesium, folate, vitamin K, and fiber, and magnesium is particularly interesting for nerve and muscle function. While greens are a great source, remember that your body's ability to utilize magnesium can also be influenced by your overall gut health and hydration levels. Every system is connected. Does eating spinach automatically regenerate damaged nerves? No, that's not what the evidence allows us to say. Nutrition supports the biological processes. It doesn't override the underlying cause. Imagine someone has nerve damage associated with years of poorly controlled blood sugar. Spinach won't erase the underlying problem. That's why managing the condition is so important. So don't think about these foods as isolated treatments. Think about them as pieces of a much larger picture. Small changes become meaningful when repeated consistently. You don't need a giant bowl of plain spinach. Try sautéing it with eggs, adding kale to soup, or blending a handful into a smoothie. It's about small, consistent habits. And now we're moving into a part of the story that could be especially important if you're over 50. Pay close attention to this section. Sometimes what looks like neuropathy may have a nutritional deficiency hiding underneath it. You could be eating what seems like a healthy diet and still have a B12 problem. The NIH lists fish, meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy among dietary sources of B12. Salmon, beef, and dairy can all contribute, but absorption matters as much as intake. Certain medications, including metformin and proton pump inhibitors, have been associated with B12 deficiency in some people. Age can also play a factor in how we absorb it. This is why regular checkups and open communication with your doctor are so important. They can help you interpret your symptoms within the context of your unique health history. If you're experiencing unexplained numbness or balance problems, ask your healthcare professional whether checking your B12 status would be appropriate. That's better than guessing with supplements. And here's a warning: more vitamins do not automatically mean healthier nerves. Excessive intake of supplemental B6 can actually cause sensory neuropathy. Food and supplements are not the same. Before taking specialized neuropathy products, look carefully at the label. If you're taking multiple supplements, discuss them with your pharmacist or doctor. Understand what your body actually needs. Now we're moving to number 2. This next food introduces a different category: healthy fats. Omega-3s have been studied for their role in nerve health. Salmon, sardines, Atlantic mackerel. These provide high-quality protein and long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, particularly EPA and DHA. Nerves are cells with specialized membranes that need these fats. There is promising research, but we need to keep expectations realistic. Clinical evidence isn't strong enough to say omega-3 supplements can treat or reverse diabetic neuropathy. Be honest with the claims. What we can say is that fatty fish supports cardiovascular and metabolic health. Your nerves depend on blood vessels to deliver oxygen and nutrients. Protecting your vascular health protects your nerves. For many adults, including seafood in meals a couple of times a week is a practical goal, but consider mercury too. Choose lower mercury options like salmon and sardines. Variety is key. When choosing fatty fish, quality matters. Look for fresh or high-quality frozen options to ensure you're getting the best nutrient profile possible for your nerve and heart health. But now we're at the final food. And I saved this one for number 1 for a reason. It's not an exotic superfood and it might already be in your pantry. Nuts and seeds bring together several nutrients, and there's a benefit most overlook. Sometimes the best food isn't what you add, but what you replace. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds. These pack an impressive amount of nutrition into a small serving. Pumpkin seeds are rich in magnesium. Walnuts and flax seeds provide plant-based omega-3s, or ALA. They are useful tools. Replacing processed snacks with nuts can reduce refined carbohydrates and added sugars. That matters enormously for blood sugar management, especially for those with diabetes-related neuropathy. Nuts are calorie-dense, so a small portion goes a long way. Try walnuts on oatmeal or pumpkin seeds on a salad. The objective isn't perfection, it's consistency. Small habits add up. Now, before you start making a list, pause. If you're thinking, I'll just eat these 5 foods and fix my nerves, that's not the goal. These are nutrient-dense pieces of a larger puzzle. Don't feel restricted to just one type. Rotating through different nuts and seeds ensures you're getting a broad spectrum of minerals and healthy fats to support your body's needs. Neuropathy isn't one disease with one cause. It can be diabetes, nutritional deficiencies, alcohol use, or other medical conditions. Don't just change breakfast. Find out what's causing the symptoms. Proper medical evaluation is vital. There's a trap online where people buy one supplement after another without knowing what's actually helping. More isn't always better. Sometimes it's just more. And if you have diabetes, this is critical. Eating salmon doesn't cancel out chronically elevated blood glucose. Your nerves are affected by the overall metabolic environment. Control matters. Know your targets, take medications as prescribed, stay active, and take care of your feet. The food is one part. Your entire daily routine is the bigger picture. Let's look at a practical day. Imagine tomorrow, eggs and spinach for breakfast, a salmon salad for lunch, and walnuts with fruit for a snack. It's a nutrient-dense pattern, not a cure, but a foundation for health. Instead of asking, what food fixes my nerves, ask, what eating pattern provides what my body needs while I manage my conditions? That's a much better question for long-term health. Before you go, one final warning. Certain symptoms should never be managed with food alone. If symptoms are new, worsening, or affecting your balance, get evaluated immediately. Don't ignore the signals. Peripheral neuropathy can reduce sensation. An injury can go unnoticed. And in diabetes, this increases the risk of serious complications. Your feet are giving you information. Listen to it. Let's recap. Eggs, greens, B12-rich foods, fatty fish, and nuts/seeds. Remember, the real winner isn't any individual food. It's the overall pattern you build from them for your health. If you're over 50 and notice tingling or burning, please don't just tell yourself that's just aging. Sometimes it's a symptom that deserves attention, and steps can be taken to protect you. Your nerves may not announce trouble with a drama. Sometimes they whisper a little tingling, a strange burning, a change in balance. Don't ignore those signals. Give your body what it needs. Manage the conditions that damage nerves. Avoid megadoses of supplements and find out the cause. The goal is an environment that supports healthy function while addressing the actual cause. If this video helped you, hit the like button and subscribe for more healthy aging info. Tell me in the comments, which of these foods do you already eat? Share this with someone who needs it. You don't have to wait for a crisis. Start with one better meal, one better choice, one better habit, and keep going. Your nerves deserve the right diagnosis and the right nutrition. Finally, always speak with your healthcare professional before changing your treatment or diet. Your health is worth the right care. I'll see you in the next video.